Hi everyone, and welcome to the Leo August and September Love Connection reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren. Hi and welcome. So this is one of 3 connection readings I complete for each sign each month that's meant to bring awareness to some aspect of your internal, unique, authentic self and how that connects to the general energies of love and interpersonal connection, as well as your external environment, so that you can better understand your place and purpose and how by you just being you can be of service to the greater collective experience. All right, Leo. So we're going to jump right into your reading. Now, all of my readings do utilize the Triad of Engagement, which is a coaching tool I've developed that helps focus on and demonstrate the importance of working with the 3 basic principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, and how by just utilizing and engaging those 3 principles in your life on a daily basis, you can bring awareness to your unique, internal, authentic self and be able to better see your place and purpose and spiritual service. All right, so the first card we're going to pull here. So this message, or this reading, is all about the energies of love and showing you basically kind of what to expect for the month of August moving into September, as well as really taking a look at potentially any blocks or any specific people, individuals that want to come up that you're dealing with, and kind of, if there are any issues, how to overcome those so that you can get back into feeling in flow with the energies of love. So the first card we're going to pull here is basically going to help us tap into the principle of curiosity, help us open up to that beautiful sense of optimism again, shining the light of curiosity inward towards ourselves, so that we can actually build a question around the energies of the card that comes out here to help make this general reading a specific reading for you. Oh my goodness, this card literally just came out for Cancer. That's so interesting. So I just did the Cancer reading before yours, Leo, and this same card came out. So you might want to watch theirs too. There could be an extra message in that reading for you. You could also be dealing with the Cancer as well. So Leo, find your center is the card that came out. And it says, your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? So this card is one that I always feel connects us to our root chakra. Now, root chakra energy does focus on when it gets out of balance and we're not aware of basically this part of ourselves. This is where fears and anxieties can bubble up because we have forgotten who we are. We've forgotten our personal superpowers, our abilities, our unique hopes and dreams, and we forget how we have these elements of ourselves to fall back on to be able to overcome obstacles in our lives. And we forget about our own superpowers. Well, this is when we start to have those anxieties and those fears come up. So Leo, I do feel that there is this element here of this month really getting back to finding your center. Now, with Cancer, I felt that there's a little bit more of the anxiety and the fear kind of coming up. Leo, with you, I feel more like this is about reconnecting with just yourself, reconnecting with something that's going to come up that is kind of like an aha moment of like, wow, sorry, I'm going to take a sip of water here. Reconnecting with that element, some aspect of self that maybe perhaps you have pushed aside, forgotten about. Maybe what I feel like, so for instance, or not for instance, but with the Cancer reading, I had them focus on what need have they gotten away from fulfilling. For you, I don't feel that. For you, I feel more like there's an element here of asking yourself a question of, if I could do anything, what would that be? If I could be anybody, who would that be? And that's the question that I want you to ask yourself moving into the month of September. And as you're moving through it, to ask yourself that to help ground you in your unique, singular importance. If I could be anybody, who would I be? If I could do anything, what would I do? And keep that in mind, because this is going to open you up to being able to perceive your external environment better, to be able to better perceive opportunities as well that might come from the answering of this question for yourself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards here this is kind of more of the free form part, where we're going to tap into if there's any specific messages for anybody out here around, let's say, a specific person, or just looking at the general energies of love and what to expect for the month of September. So we have 3 cards that came out here. We have the Hanged Man. We have the King of Swords. And we have the Page of Cups. So there's this element here of, when I'm looking at these 3 cards together, there is this quality here of seeing something from a different perspective. And that's really what the Hanged Man denotes. The Hanged Man is this element of perhaps a pause, a divinely inspired pause for us to be able to see our external environment and what currently is from a new perspective, so that we can see something that the divine is trying to get us to see that we weren't able to see before. So the perspective shift. And that we're seeing perhaps the truth, and we are starting to reconnect with this emotional part of ourselves. Now, the King of Swords is somebody who is strong in their mental clarity. They are somebody who is able to speak the truth, be able to make decisions based from a very knowledgeable place, somebody who can see all sides, somebody who's really mentally sharp. But sometimes this person can seem a little cold, because they're going to tell the truth. They're going to be very, this is like going to a friend that you know is going to give you the harsh truth, but yet you need to hear it. And there's this quality here of kind of this innocent, like reaching out to this energy here of like, hey, soften up a little bit. That's what's kind of coming through here. So there's this element here of perhaps Leo, of maybe having to step out of this energy and more into this energy. Of as you're coming into that kind of feeling of, if I could do anything, what would I do? If I could be anybody, what would I be? There's some element here of some truth that needs to be recognized. It's almost like you need to have that hard pep talk with yourself of, okay, where have I perhaps not been honoring some aspect of myself? And I'm going to now see this from a new perspective, that I need to see the truth of something. I need to hear and face the harsh truth of something, but I need to step back into almost this childlike, innocent sense of tapping back into that from an emotional place. So this might look like you saying, okay, I've waited too long to make the job move. And I know it. And now I'm seeing, as I'm asking myself if I could do anything, what would I do? And it has nothing to do with what I'm currently doing. I'm seeing everything from a new perspective. But now what I need to do is step into this energy. So we're talking about the energy of love. Love is a supportive energy. When we're in flow with love, we should feel supported by the universe and by others. And we should be able then to feel like we can support and give love and support to others and to the universe in general. So there's this quality here of being able to face some truth with yourself, to step into this new perspective of something that perhaps you've been maybe running away from a little bit with yourself, and to step back into this energy. This energy is kind of like, to me, this kind of fresh, almost like Cupid-like energy of having this very innocent, childlike quality of looking at the energy of love, of like tapping into that like emotional place of like, I just love it. Like when somebody asks, well, why are you doing that? And all you can respond with is, because I love doing it. Does there need to be another reason? And that's a good question to ask yourself. Does there need to be another reason besides because it makes me feel good? Because I really like doing it and I'm just going to try it. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to pull some clarifier cards. I'm going to pull some clarifier cards for the King of Swords. I'm going to start with that. Ooh, 2 cards came right out. Oh, 3 cards. Oh my goodness. The High Priestess and the Ace of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. This is such a beautiful combination here. There's this element here. The Ace of Wands is it's basically your eternal flame. This is your magic wand given to you singularly as an individual between the divine and yourself. This is your soul. This is your eternal flame. And there's this quality here with the High Priestess of realizing, tapping into your intuition and realizing, no, I know what this passion is. And I know that it can lead to my legacy. That's what the 10 of Pentacles is, our ultimate lasting legacy, abundance in the tangible realm. And so there's this element here of realizing the truth of a passion, making that decision to recognize this passion and realizing what you can do with it. And greeting that with this beautiful, kind of optimistic, childlike, innocent, emotional connection to that. So beautiful energy. Again, this is admitting to yourself what is that spark. And how can you turn that into your legacy? And I think you know. That's what the High Priestess is telling me here. I think you know. But you might just be a little too afraid to follow it. Remember, there is no other reason other than because I love doing it. When we do what we love, we not only fall into the flow of energy of love, but we step fully into our spiritual purpose. That's when we know we're doing what we're meant to be doing. That's when we know that by just doing what we love, by showing up as ourselves, by taking action in that area, that we are being of service to the greater collective human experience. We're fulfilling our role. I'm just going to see what this perspective shift is. I'm going to pull some clarifier cards for the Hanged Man. Let's see perhaps what is around this shift in perspective. Can we clarify the Hanged Man? What does Leo need to know about the Hanged Man and change in perspective? What does Leo need to know about the Hanged Man and a change in perspective? Any other cards? Any other cards? Any other clarifier cards for the Hanged Man? Well, that might be it. So 1 card came out. Let's see. Oop, 2. Well, we get the Hanged Man again. And we have the 10 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. What this is telling me here is where the perspective change is coming from is having a perspective shift on being at your lowest point. This is a card of release. This is a card of basically almost giving in to the universe of, I can't take anymore. I'm at my lowest point. It's almost like the Jesus take the wheel component. Now, obviously, don't worry about religion here and all of that, but there is that component here of allowing yourself to get to that place, but having a perspective. You're being able to see this, your lowest point, from a new vantage point and realizing, oh, that's why I was there, because I wasn't honoring my true self. And I can let that go now. This part of me that felt that I was at my lowest point here, and I can start building again. This is the Seven of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is a very methodical energy. It's that card that has the energy of Virgo, which we're moving into Virgo season in September. So this is very perfect. But there's this element of being able to, I think, gain clarity on what you had been building, the actions you were taking, and realizing now why something didn't work out before based off of what you were doing, and the truth of what needs to change now. The truth that what you thought you were working towards was based on coming from a place of previous hurt, previous pain. And now you can see that in a new perspective and be able to release that so that you can start building again, but from a place of authenticity to yourself. To realize that's what sparks my flame. This is who I really am. And this is what's going to lead to my legacy. Not being stuck here. Beautiful. Beautiful message, Leo. Now I'm going to pull one last card here for to help us tap into the concept of contemplation, where we get to work with the energies of integration and reflection and being self-responsible to being aware of the consequences of our actions. And this is where we can help prevent ourselves from staying stuck, from repeatedly taking the same actions that result in the same negative consequences and us not being aware of them. So 3 cards came out here. We have Chaos and Conflict, number 33, for those of you who care about the numbers. We have Poised, number 48, and we have Come to the Age, number 36. Beautiful message between all of these. So I think what was going on, there was a time of chaos and conflict. And you guys may have just been coming out of that, or this may be in the past. That ties directly to this Ten of Swords. But now you're moving away from that and you're poised. So the Poised card here in this deck really focuses on being ready. Being ready, being in this perfect place of, it's kind of tapping into the energy of you are exactly where you need to be. So there's this element here of, as you're finding your center, as you're asking yourself now in this present moment, as you're grounding yourself as who you are today, not who you were then when you were at your lowest point, but who you are in this very moment with this rekindled sense of knowledge of you, your soul, your passion, your magic wand from the divine. That you, all that's happened up until now has been to prepare you, to have you poised, to be able to move into this new opportunity, to be able to see it and step in. And it's more than just taking the opportunity, it's stepping into a new version of yourself. It's stepping into this new world almost. And I think that's where, when we have the next one is Come to the Edge. It's okay. You're being asked. And I love how there's all these are like little hearts here. So when we're talking about the energies of love, there's this element here of spirit really coming through and saying, you're supported. You're supported. Just come. It's okay. It's okay to leap this time. It's not going to result in this. In fact, the perspective on this is, look how strong you are. Look how far you've come. And if you hadn't gone through that, you would never have recognized this. And you would never have realized how that can lead to your legacy. So it's time to come to the edge. Take that leap. You've been set up. You're in the perfect place right now, even it may not feel that way, that you are, to take full advantage of something that's coming through that's going to tap into that passion. And again, it's that element of, you don't need any other reason to follow something, whether this is leaning into a new relationship, whether this is following a new passion, a new career, perhaps. You name it. Anything that lights your fire. This could be a hobby. This could, creative endeavor. But that when we lean into that energy, that childlike kind of innocent, it's just because I love doing it. That's where the true opportunities come forward. That's where true transformation comes from for us. Because we're finally stepping in and giving into the energy of love. That's support. And that's when we get a chance to see where we can be of service to others. That's where we get a chance to also step into that a feeling of emotional fulfillment for ourselves, where we are taking advantage of learning from our mistakes or learning from past hurt, past pain, being able to reflect and see that in a new perspective, to be able to understand in context. That's why I had to go through that. And then to be able to move away from this and towards this. Beautiful. So this month, Leo, is going to be really about, again, bringing you back to you. And actually tapping into the present moment. Asking yourself that question, if I could do anything, what would I do? And if I could be anyone, who would I be? And this might be, it doesn't have to be like, I want to be a fireman, or I want to go back to school, become a doctor. This can be something simple like, I want to be a dad. I want to be more adventurous. If I could be anybody, I want to be an adventurer. Now, what does that look like for you? This is when we start to use curiosity to open the door, shine the light within, shine the light, further and further down to where we start to really uncover those aspects of awareness about ourselves. Where, let's say we do want to be seen as the adventurer. And it was kind of funny, actually. I was watching a TV show where they were interviewing some, expert about something. And he had listed himself as like an architect and an adventurer. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So let's say you would love to have the title adventurer underneath your, on your LinkedIn profile. What does that look like to you? Does that look like traveling to a new country, every month? Does that look like you starting your own business and having to go around on an adventure to sell this concept to people? Does that look like starting a family, because that could be a great adventure? Does this look like simply going out and pushing yourself to do things on a physical level that you normally would never do? Like you're going to take up rock climbing and hang gliding and, you name it. So it's about bringing that then back, asking those follow-up questions then of, okay, if I could be anybody, what would I be? I want to be an adventurer. Well, to you specifically as an individual, what does being an adventurer mean to you? And then to have the courage. So when we're talking about the concepts of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, then curiosity is followed by courage, where we ask ourselves these questions, and then we step into courage, which is our seat of personal power, which is where we get a chance to courageously start to take action on the answers we are getting from the questions we're asking about ourselves and our external environment. So as you start to uncover what would you like to do or who would you like to be, then that's where we tap into, okay, what are you going to do about it? What are the small steps? And that's the beauty of, we're moving into Virgo energy in the month of September. And this card specifically, the Knight of Wands, there's this element of being able to start to continue to lay those seeds, take step-by-step action to bring into reality this newfound version of yourself that you want to be, or to make happen this new, if you could do anything, what would you do? It's about taking those practical steps. What are those steps that you can take? Again, if you want to be an adventurer, what does that look like for you? And then what are the steps that you can take? Is it something as simple as seeing if there's a rock climbing gym in your area and you sign yourself up for the rock climbing gym? Is it something where, you tell yourself, if I could be anybody, I want to be somebody who is very fit and in shape, and I want to be somebody who has a healthy lifestyle, because that's something that's really important to you right now. Well, then that follow-up next step would be something like signing up for your gym, or finding a new way of eating that is right for you, that maybe is a change from how you currently eat. This could be something as simple as just making that concerted, dedicated decision to say, I'm going to start cooking meals for myself 3 days a week if you eat out all the time. These are the small action steps we can take that will end up leading to these big changes. To all of a sudden, from today, you making that conscious decision of, I want to be a health conscious individual, to then a year from now, you fully stepping into being that health conscious individual, and to see how that has changed your life. That's where we step into the magic, the awe, and the wonder. It's literally just tapping into who we are, asking ourselves these questions and taking small action steps. And that's what brings us back into our seat of personal power. And it's also what allows us to tap into the flow, feeling in flow with the energy of love. Because then we're doing what makes us feel good, what we love to do, what's important to us, and that is supported by the universe. It's supported by the divine, and it's also going to be supported by those around you. Because if you've ever been around somebody who is doing what they love and is so passionate about what they do, it's like you can't help but fall in love with what they do as well. I have talked to small business owners who do things that to some people would not seem exciting. They're the electricians or the plumbers or the small landscape people. And it's in talking to them and hearing their passion about what they do that then I end up walking away going, oh my gosh, I'm excited to be a plumber. I didn't realize how cool our HVAC systems are. And you can't help but, again, when we tap into this flame, this passion, when we light our own flame, simply by lighting our own flame, we also in turn light the flames of the others around us. And that can look like just expressing our passion and love for something that we do or for who we are. And that is how you get to be of service to the greater collective experience. We all, just like the Olympic torch, we can all help keep each other's flames burning together. All right, Leo, this was a lovely message. So much coming through. I almost feel like I want to cry. There's just so much beautiful kind of finding yourself again energy. So I hope you have a wonderful month of September. If you'd like to book a personal tarot reading or a one-on-one coaching session, the link to my website is in the description box below. I look forward to reading for you for the additional readings in the month of September. And if you want to, you can also check out your 2 other readings for the month of August. All right. Bye, Leos.